spoke with somebody recently who had a great birthday. She read my book. She said, I asked my husband for the gift I wanted. I told him what restaurant I wanted to go to, and I had a great time. And I said, good for you. And she said it was very empowering. And that's exactly what it feels like when we take charge of our birthday and make it what we want it to be. And that empowerment, that sense of like, oh, I did what I wanted. It feels good. It is a form of self-care. It is a form of self-love to actually allow ourselves to have what we want and not always be thinking of others and subsuming what we want for others, being in service to others, taking care of others, putting others' needs before our own. A lot of us do that all the time. We don't know how to put ourselves in the center. It's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that already. And so I just say, give yourself one day a year. And it doesn't even have to be the whole day. If that's still too much for you, give yourself the morning. Just give yourself the morning to yourself. Go for a walk, go to the park, go to your favorite restaurant and have brunch, have some friends over, have them join you for breakfast. Just do something that sparks some joy, all about you, and practice receiving. One of the things I noticed very early on is, it can be really hard when people give you compliments. You did a great job, or I love that dress, or whatever. And, it's very easy to, and I finally realized, just say thank you. Even if you're uncomfortable, just say thank you. I actually say that in the book. But, when people are complimenting you, just practice saying thank you. And as soon as you start saying thank you, it makes you vulnerable. It
Yeah.
just makes you stop and receive. It's a little uncomfortable to say thank you, because it implies you agree. It implies like, oh, I know, don't I look great in this dress, But you know what? You do look great in that dress, and you deserve to be complimented, and say thank you. So just practice saying thank you, right? Practice being present for your birthday when people are showing up with good cheer for you. And that's why I think when we let the barista know it's my birthday today, and she smiles or he smiles and says, happy birthday, that's just one person and it lasts 10 seconds and you can keep moving on. There's not a lot of pressure there, right? It's just a moment. It's not like it's a birthday party filled with 20 of your friends and it's lasting for 4 hours and there's a lot of energy you're dealing with, right?
Right.
There can be fragments of joy that we avail ourselves to on our birthday that again can help us get more comfortable feeling more and receiving more positive energy in our space and in our psyche and in our heart. And that is a form of self-care, and that can lead to greater self-love. And if we're not up for self-love quite yet, at least affinity with self, appreciation and friendship with self, right? Can we be our own friend, right? Can we be our own
Yeah.
friend?
It's making me think of this idea of being is becoming, right? Before we can be fully loving of the self, we can embody the becoming through these acts, through these
Yes.
moments of care, through this practice, in both the kind of spiritual understanding of practice. But I think when you traditionally think of practice as a sport, it's like, no, you show up, you do the work, you
Yeah.
practice it, right? They're actually the same thing. And that in that practice is actually when we stumble into the self-love. That's actually when we are loving the self, and that through that becoming, we are already in the being of it all. That there is some sort of nuance there that I think is really beautiful and allows hopefully for some self-grace through the
Yeah.
process too, right? That as you
Yeah.
stumble through the practice, it's like you're on the journey, you're on the path, and it's okay to stumble if it does start with just the morning. And I think I also want to urge listeners, if something that has been said or brought up as something to try, and there's a hesitation or a snag in the self, pay attention to it. Maybe not have to go out and do it right away, but investigate it, sit with it, meditate on it. Where is that snag from? Because I know for me, even the idea of telling a barista, hey, it's my birthday, it's like immediately I have this, ooh, I couldn't do that. Why? Why does
Yeah.
that feel bad to me? Right.
Yeah.
And so I
Or
think,
scary.
yeah,
Feels
yeah,
scary. Yeah. And
absolutely.
yeah, and I love what you say about practice. And so maybe for those of your listeners that have a hard time with their birthdays, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to have a happier birthday, which is, how about practicing having a happier birthday? Don't, because if you're practicing, you may not succeed, but at least you tried, right? And so there's a lot less pressure when I say I'm going to practice having a happier birthday. So I love that.